Hello everybody, it's Miss Ross here joining you for our yoga video. So in this video, I'm going to teach you for a few different yoga poses. I'm going to teach you how to do the poses one by one, and then we're going to start working in a flow. So a yoga flow is when you put all of the yoga poses together and you repeat through that cycle over and over so that you can start warming up your body, getting nice and strong, getting nice and flexible, being relaxed, and being mindful. All of these exercises, you don't need anything except for your yoga mat. Best to do yoga with no shoes on, no socks, so that you don't slip and slide. So I'm in my bare feet and I'm on my mat. So we're going to start with child's pose. So child's pose is a very common pose that you will do in yoga. When you do child's pose, you'll be extending your arms forward, your face and your head will be touching your mat. Your knees will be down on the mat and your bottom will be touching your heels. So I'm going to show you that in just a minute. When you're doing these poses, I want you to watch them first before you try it so that you can see what you're supposed to do. First watch and then try. Okay, so here I go. I'm getting into child's pose. My bottom is resting on my heels. I'm extending my arms in front of me. I'm bending forward, putting my head down on the mat. And I'm stretching my fingertips forward. This is called child's pose. All right, now that you've seen it, I want you to go ahead and give it a try. So go ahead and get into child's pose. All right, good job. So the next pose from here is going to be tabletop. So when I do tabletop, I release my knees, and so now I'm standing on my knees. I have my arms out in front of me. They're nice and straight. I want you to notice that my shoulder, my elbow, and my hand, my wrist, they're all in one straight line. That's the same thing that you want when you're in a tabletop. You want your arms straight. You don't want one arm here or here or here or here. You want them right in one line. So elbow, shoulder, elbow, and wrist in one line. So this is tabletop pose. So that's pose number 2. So we have child's pose, we have tabletop. Now we're going to do cat pose. In cat pose, you bring your back up towards the ceiling. So you curl your back like a cat. When it gets all scared, you're curling your back up to the ceiling. I didn't move my arms. I left my arms where they were. I didn't move my knees. The only thing I moved was my back. I pulled it up. So watch my sweater. I pull my back up. That's what you want your back to do. So pull up into cat pose. When you release cat pose, you can go back to tabletop. Now, the next pose is cow pose. When I do cow pose, I arch my back. That means I'm bringing my belly down towards the yoga mat. This is cow pose. So for these 3 poses, we have tabletop here, we have cat pose here, and we have cow pose here. So we have learned child's pose, tabletop, cat, and cow. So that's 4 poses that you know already. I'm going to add in 2 more poses. This next pose, you're still on your hands and knees, but it's called downward dog. So I untucked my toes. I'm going to straighten my legs, and I'm going to keep my arms straight. This is called downward dog, where you have straight arms, straight legs. Make sure you're not bending your arms. Make sure you're not bending your knees. Keep them straight. All right, and release your knees back to the floor. So that was downward dog. And the last pose we're going to do at the very end of our flow. So don't worry about that yet. So now we're going to put all the ones we've learned in order, starting with child's pose. So we have child's pose, tabletop, cat, tabletop, cow, tabletop, downward dog pose. We'll do that again. All right, you ready to flow with me again? Child's pose, tabletop, cat, tabletop, cow, tabletop, downward dog, and release. All right, this last pose is called Shavasana. So that just means the pose where you're lying down on your back and you're resting. Now I want to put that in the flow, but at the very end, because this is what you do when you're in yoga to finish your practice. So we're going to sit back up and go through our yoga flow 4 times together. Are you ready? All right, great. Let's get started. So you're on your knees. Go into your child's pose. Tabletop, cat, tabletop, cow, tabletop, downward dog. Again, child's pose. Remember, we're going through this 4 times. Tabletop, cat, tabletop, cow, tabletop, downward dog. Again, child's pose. Tabletop, cat, tabletop, cow, tabletop, downward dog. Last time in the flow. Go at your own pace. You know the sequence. And when you're finished, lie down on your back in Savasana. So the flow that we just did is a great thing for you to do when you wake up in the morning. Sometimes after you're lying down in bed all night, you can have a really stiff spine. So all of those postures, all of those poses will really wake up your spine and also stretch out your arms, stretch out your torso, and stretch out your legs. So good job. Yoga with Miss Ross. Today we did a yoga flow series where we learned quite a few poses and put them together in a flow. You can practice this flow as much as you like, any time of day. All right, I look forward to seeing you again next time.